Hi, this is Richard at Halo. Today we're going to have a look at the Supadrive drive system, maintaining it, greasing it, cleaning it. So the tools you're going to need to do this job, depending on axle setup, is if we're talking through axle, you're going to look at two 17mm cone spanners. If we're dealing with a QR hub, we're going to be looking at two 5mm Allen keys to remove the end cones. So we've got the two spanner flats either side on the through axle here. 17mm cone spanner either side. It'll be an anti-clockwise undo to loosen the cones off. You're likely to get one cone off before the other. That's completely cool because it's a slide through axle system, so whichever cone comes off first, you'll be able to remove the axle to then reveal the free hub from the hub. Okay, so with the cones loosened off, you simply just be able to remove them by hand. The free hub body will slide off of the hub. Chances are it's going to leave the tube spacer behind. That can just be removed. So with this now opened up, you can see into the drive ring, the pulls, the springs and the wrap spring for it. So what you're going to be looking for is if we've got any debris in around the drive ring area, we want to keep that nice and clean for optimum performance. So a clean rag, wipe out any grit you've got in there, and that will keep that nice and tidy. I mean, as you can see here, because we're working with a brand new hub, there's a really light covering of grease inside it, and this is kind of what we're aiming to look after. The pulls, similar kind of deal, again, because it's a completely fresh unit. You can see here, it's got a very light coating of a quite lightweight grease in there. Dependent on your riding conditions, you can kind of exploit different greases, oils. If you're working in an environment which is predominantly wet or riding through the winter, it's actually quite nice to use a thicker grease. It's more durable, will last longer, dependent on kind of the level of cleaning of your bikes and such. If you're a frequent washer and you like to jet wash, we understand it, but you're going to have to maintain the hub afterwards. So you're going to want to have a quick look in there, just make sure that there's kind of still that covering of grease in there. Okay, so the wrap spring, which retains the pulls on it, will begin in the little hole there because it's got a hook end on it. Ideally, it should be wrapped around that way because when the hub's running past it, it's never going to pick up the loose end. So to remove the pulls, springs and the wrap spring, I find it easiest to find the end, simply lift that one out, and you can remove your pulls from the free hub body itself. Okay, so once you've got the pulls off, you're going to be checking your nice plain surfaces here to see if there's any signs of excessive wear, any nasty grooves that have been cut in it from, debris that's managed to get into the hub shell. If it looks all good once it's cleaned down, you're simply looking to put a nice thin coating of a grease across this plain surface around the back of the free hub body. If we're talking about the individual pulls, again, you've got the inner face here, which you're looking to just have a very light smear of grease across the surface of that. Okay, so if in the cleaning process you manage to get the pull spring separated from the pull body itself, these springs are actually directional. There is a slightly fatter end at one end. The fatter end does locate into this little hole here in the back of the pull body. Okay, so reseating the pulls into the back of the free hub body, this is a little bit of a delicate process. Okay, so I've just located the pull spring itself into the hole. You then have the wrap spring, which has the hook end, which is the beginning. It wraps round. This needs to be fitted so that it hooks in and wraps in an anti-clockwise direction. There's 3 identifier holes in the running of the free hub body. You're looking to hook that end in and then wrap it round the pulls until the spring is in its groove the whole way around. Okay, so re-greasing of the drive ring, I find it's best to start with a small dab, and then you can basically wipe it round to give a nice light coating over the entire surface. Okay, so as you can see from the little bits of road grease you can see around here, as well as coating the inside face of the drive ring, actually helps to have a little bit pushed all the way around the edge of the free hub body seating area here to help the seal of the free hub run nice and smooth. Okay, so with all the elements cleaned and re-greased, I find it will be easiest for you if you start with the axle coming from the non-drive side of the hub. The tube spacer relocates back into the free hub body. It works much easier to get the pulls located back into the drive ring. The axle slides through, and then you just replace the drive side nut. Fully tighten that with the cone spanners. You're ready to ride.